is up, guys? Welcome back to Collision Course. We got some, we got four jabronis. Me, Matt, Josh, Jace, and, man, I don't know. Today was going really good. It was. Work was fine, chilling. I ain't heard nothing from these guys. And then when this piece of crap popped up on my phone, and, I know these guys got a lot to say about it, so here we go. Go, Matt, go ahead. Just start.
Microsoft delays Halo Infinite to 2021. Let's just go with what we know. This is coming from The Verge. And then straight on 343 put this little thing on
Twitter, man. Straight from Twitter.
I'll just read this so everybody knows. Okay. Yeah. So let's say, today I want to share an important Halo Infinite development update with the community. We have made the difficult decision to shift our release to 2021 to ensure the team has adequate time to deliver a Halo game experience that meets our vision. The decision to shift our release is the result of multiple factors that have contributed to development challenges, including the ongoing COVID-related impacts affecting us all this year. I want to acknowledge the hard work from our team at 343 Industries, who have remained committed to making a great game and finding solutions to development challenges. However, it is not sustainable for the well-being of our team or the overall success of the game to shift it this holiday. Blah, blah, blah. We're disappointed, but that's kind of the gist of it. So,
and the questions we need to answer right now is it smart? How big of an impact is this making on, of course, decisions coming in, the holiday season this year, and just how this is going to affect everything going forward, even with the PC standpoint and all that. So, whoever,
I think we can all agree this is a bummer. We all wanted to play Halo in November. That's another thing we should count out. We all assumed the console was going to launch in November. They have said for sure it is in November.
All right, Josh, go ahead.
Yeah, excuse me, Matt. My hand was raised. So I think that it is a good thing for Halo. And if you're a fan of Halo, you should be happy that they're not giving you what you saw in July. That is the high point. That is the good. The rest of this is not going to be good. This is bad for Microsoft. This is their flagship game. It's not shipping with Series X. Right now, they've shown us no reason to get Series X. And it's not good, man. It's not good. For us Halo people that are excited for the game Halo, I'm excited that I'm not going to get what I got in July. I'm done.
Feel that. Go ahead, Jace. What are you thinking?
I'll go ahead and start off by being positive. Look, we talked about in our text earlier, a lot of games have done this. How many times did Red Dead Redemption, like Red Dead 2, get delayed? It was like years, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And still came out already.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well, I'm saying, but they really want, anyway, I thought it was a good game, storyline-wise. It came out, I was glad with the
It was a good game.
Many games done it. So I'm fine with that if they wouldn't have just, showed it off, saying, oh, it's going to be our launch game, hyping it all up. That was my only problem with it. But other than that, I'm still going to get it. But I will say this, and I think y'all can agree, this is going to hurt Microsoft's launch. And it might not hurt them in the long run, but their opening launch, I think it's going to hurt them.
There's no arguing that it's going to hurt their launch. There's multiple people that were going to buy a Series X because they were going to play it 120 frames on that's what they were going to do.
Yeah, I was going to chip in. I talked to Grimes, and he actually said he don't know what he's going to do now. He's obviously not going to get an Xbox right now.
And can you blame him? Why would
I don't. He said he might just end up getting a PS5.
Hang on. So I told him I'd give him a shout out. So this is straight from the man himself, Grimes. He wanted me to talk about the facts, and he sent me the facts, so I ain't got to look them up. So here's your dates. You ready? These are your Halo dates. 2001, Halo. 2004, Halo 2. 07, 3, 09 was ODST. Reach came in 2010, and then you had 4 drop in 12. Master Chief Collection, 2014. 5 was in 15. So I think me and him are on the same page for sure, and we've had this conversation. But I feel like no matter what the circumstance has been through these last 5 years, I feel like when you look at those dates, I feel like 5 years is enough to put a product out better than what we've seen in, just less than a month ago. And when I say that, I don't mean I don't mean the whole game should be done, but I feel like the 20 minutes of gameplay that I seen should have been what we should have expected, whether it was good or bad. Which the gameplay itself looked incredible. The visuals didn't look great. We can all agree of that. I mean, we're all excited.
There was some problems. I was a fan of the art style, but most people weren't.
Yeah, but that's what I'm
fair.
saying. Like,
but there was some visual bugs. I would agree with that.
So listen, if somebody's going to call COVID-19 and say that is the reason that they're delaying, then I have no problems with it because it's a pandemic and nobody expected it. But how much of this stemmed from COVID-19 and how much of this stemmed from the negative feedback of July? It's a lot of it on both ends. Here's what I'll say about Jimmy reference and Grimes. Well, I should say Grimes referencing the dates of the Halos and how this is the longest gap we've ever had for a Halo. Even after Bungie left and they gave it to 343, there was still like a 2-year gap before the next one. There's many things to go into that. One being, it's harder to make games now. It 100% is. You telling me it's not easier to make a Halo 1 Combat Evolved than it is to make a AAA, quadruple A game right now? That takes longer. Also, there's a new audio engine, new visual engine that never been used before. And to play off of what Matt's saying, we've never seen games that are made with as much power as they're being made for PlayStation 5 and Series X. Well, PCs had the ability, but all of us know that games aren't made for PC. They're converted dang near from console to PC. There's very few games that are made with the power of PC in mind. Like if you look at games like CSGO and Valorant, they're not really, pulling the graphical power that PCs have, and we all know that. But so we don't know how much more goes into making a game that's going to do what it's supposed to do on these new consoles. So it could take a lot longer. That can be said. But I don't have any issues with the delay if it's COVID related. I have issues with the timing of it. I mean, the fact that they gave us what they gave us in July, everybody was kind of let down. Some people were fighting for it, whatever. I think right then, when they went to release that, they had to have known there was issues. Why didn't they? I just don't know, man. I had issues with it then.
I think some even if the COVID was still going on, and it will be, they could have fixed some of the visual bugs in time for November. I have no problem with that. The problem was everyone complaining about the art style and the way the game looked. They're like, well, shoot, we're going to have to do something different. So you're going to see in 2021, you're going to see a different looking game. Now, they can't just completely throw the thing out the window.
No.
They're going to throw different textures and all these different things on it to make it's going to look different, noticeably, I think.
But with that being said, man, so going to that, though, I mean, I get it. Don't get me wrong. It didn't appeal to the eye of certain people. But the people that were going to buy this game, undoubtedly, Grimes could vouch for it. All of you could vouch for it. You were going to buy this game, no matter how it looked. Am I correct?
100%.
Well, that's not what was selling.
Actually, I was going to get off Game Pass. Everyone else was.
So,
you know what I'm saying?
But that's what my point is. We were going to get the game. It wasn't about the visuals. It's never been about the visuals. It's been about the gameplay. Halo,
100%, which looked great.
Yes, the gameplay looked incredible. It looked next level. I mean, in all honesty, it looks like everything that we've been building up to. The visuals is what the problem was that everybody was seeing. And most of the people that were really hashing hard on it were people that probably weren't that interested in it in the first place.
No, it was the Jaces of the world, the Sony fanboys that wanted to take a shot at Xbox. That's fine.
And it was a valid shot.
I mean, it's fair.
It was, but at the end of the day...
Well, I'm just going to say it wasn't just PlayStation people. There was Xbox people saying
there was a lot of Xbox people. Yeah.
A lot of Xbox people.
There was also a lot of Halo fanboys that were like, this looks awesome. It looks like Halo 1, and I love that.
Sure. Yeah. So find some middle ground somewhere.
So let me have a question then. So they had a base of it, is what I'm saying. they based it off Halo 1, right? Because that's what
No,
I did see y'all confirmed that they wanted it to look like Halo 1.
They do want to look
art style wise, but
yeah,
they didn't
wanted
base
it to,
anything. They didn't use any textures. They didn't use anything from Halo 1. They built this all brand new. Everything is built new.
literally brand new. Like every other game starts with like an engine that's been used before.
This is a new engine.
This is completely new.
You guys have played enough video games to see Unreal Engine pop up how many freaking times? Oh, yeah. Everything built on Unreal Engine. This is a new
literally
engine.
when you use engines like that, you have assets that you can pull. Like even if it's not, and they're just there, you've already got some of your game built. This is completely new. They have to start and recreate all this stuff.
Because of that, they need more than 5 years.
I mean,
apparently,
yeah, I would say so.
And
but 5 years in a pandemic.
Well, to add on to that subject, what we seen a month ago, obviously, it didn't. I mean, honestly, even to Matt, I know it didn't exactly appeal to the eye, like perfection wise. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
there was bugs. There was grass that would come in and out. Trees disappear.
And with that being said, though, here's my question. Of all this, the only thing I'm very upset about in all this is that you showed me this. You showed me the gameplay. And props to Microsoft because Sony hasn't showed me gameplay of Jack. And the only gameplay I have seen of any game so far has been Halo. But
that's not true.
But with that being true...
There was some, but not
there's some. It's not much. There's not much gameplay around on anything.
So the top title has the one title that everybody's waiting for. You've seen gameplay of one game,
and Deathloop, and they just released what's that game? I have to look it up. Godfall. They just released like 20 minutes. Like 20 minutes gameplay.
What? Too
about
much
the same as
gameplay,
Halo.
but yeah.
But anyway, I didn't even know what Godfall is. That's bad on me, but I'm saying like of big games that are supposed to come out at launch, I know of like Spider-Man, and I know of like Halo, and I can't even tell you another launch game for Microsoft at this point.
Yeah,
like a launch game.
And like super props to Microsoft for that. That's what I wanted to see, and I seen it, and I appreciate that. But going into that, and I want all of y'all to answer on this: was this game before pandemic or not? Was this game gonna be ready this holiday season? I mean, be real. Matt, go ahead. Tell me.
If the pandemic didn't happen, it would have launched in November with the Xbox Series X. I 100% believe that. And you can't tell me otherwise.
I think so too.
But
100%. Okay. 100%. You can fix those bugs.
It's so like, man, it's so up in the air, dude. Like you're betting on things that just like on a chance almost. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like yes or no, maybe it's hard to say. It's hard to say, but I would say yes, but I could see people saying no too. Yep. It's just really, you have no idea what could have happened.
What do you think, Jason?
You know it.
I don't know, man. I really think, and I know we talked about this before. I mean, they're a $1 billion company. I think they have all the tools and stuff to work just as fine on a game. I mean, it probably will stop up some. I don't think it's that big of an impact, though.
Side note, speaking of $1 billion companies, Call of Duty, fix your game, man. It's been a week.
That's a very hard side note. Here's my thing, guys. Guys, making video games is the most complicated form of media in the world. And there's no way you can say any way otherwise. It's the most complicated thing to make in media, period. And then you take everybody out of their rooms and you put them in their houses and say, "Now do it." Okay, that's going to affect people.
That was only for a short brief too, because now like a lot of them they have to keep like 6 feet apart. Like a lot of businesses are back up.
Getting better. I get it.
A lot of businesses are back up.
So,
but then again, the only thing I'm gonna say is they're not the only company that went through it. Yeah, you know what I mean.
And with that being said, guys, I mean,
not the only game to delay either.
I get it. So how long's the pandemic?
Not at launch.
I would say 5 months tops. Like from today to the announcement today to probably the beginning is at least 5 months. That's probably a little more, but I'll say 5 months. Do you? my big question is, and this is the only problem I have with the whole situation is you don't, what you were gonna schedule. That event was scheduled, and I'm pretty sure Microsoft and 343 both said, you know what, we're gonna do this. We're gonna be at that event and we're gonna show what we got. Would you not I'm not a genius. I don't work for companies. Like I don't work for Microsoft. I don't know these guys. But would you not take the fullest 20 minutes that you're going to show somebody Like, you're going to make sure that those 20 minutes that people see, the whole world, for the first view, is going to be done. I mean, done. And when I say that, what I mean is, like, those 20 minutes, you want your audience to expect, those 20 minutes is what you can expect for however long the gameplay is going to be, whether it be campaign, multiplayer, whatever. Obviously, multiplayer campaign is going to differ because of it being a competitive setting and turning all those things down. But as far as campaign, there's more than 20 minutes worth of campaign. So
I agree with what you're going at here. I understand, and I agree. What they gave us in July wasn't good, and most of the world's going to agree that. My issue now moves from Halo, moves from that. Somebody, like, I really directed towards Matt. Matt, tell me what reason Microsoft has given the average Joe to buy a Series X. What reason in any of their conferences? Have they sold me on Game Pass? Yeah, they sold me on Game Pass. Tell me why they've sold me on Series X.
Here's what I say. Their only real push is it is the most powerful.
That's it.
Third-party games will look best on here. We may get some of the third-party games on Game Pass, and you'll have a lot more games to play for a very cheap amount with Game Pass. My thing about it is, and I alluded to this after the Microsoft event, their plan for business has shifted. It's no longer. They don't have to outsell Sony and consoles.
No, they're not trying to. But you telling me we're this deep and they've yet to, in a press conference, give you a reason to buy Series X in a press conference? 100%. Because all they've said is just, hey, we're the most powerful. Have they released
a pretty good reason to most people?
But it's not, because we've all agreed that games sell consoles.
Dude, this was their flagship game, and people are already talking about going PlayStation because
100%.
Speaking of which, Grimes is one.
All right, guys, listen. I will be the first to tell you PlayStation is going to outsell Xbox. They were going to before the announcement happened. Okay, they're going to get a huge hit off this. Okay, a lot of people aren't going to buy Series X. I understand that. But there is a definite ecosystem of people that are going to buy it just because they're Xbox fanboys, and that's great.
Well, see, and that's where my thing sits in, though. See, I used to be an Xbox fanboy.
I didn't hear what you said, Jason.
Grimes used to is an Xbox fanboy. We know this.
Yep.
I don't feel like I'm hitting him in any low blow for that. But
I wouldn't say he is, though. He bought a PlayStation before he bought an Xbox last year.
I mean, he definitely is. He definitely would choose Xbox. Yeah, I would say Matt is as well. Yeah.
So, my point is, if I didn't have a PC, if I wasn't, superior race, whatever. Say I didn't have the money for it, and I was banking on getting the X. And you know what my motive to banking on getting that X was? The one thing that banked me on getting every Xbox console. I wanted to play Halo with my friends, man.
Yep.
Like right at launch. I wanted.
And for the people who the people who really know what's going on here and know that Game Pass is as good as it is, and I get that they've tried to show that. Right now, the reason to buy Series X is value. You're going to get more for your money.
Yep. And here's
now I know that depends on price point.
Listen,
it really does. But with Game Pass being what it is, that's their only play. And I think they need to either come out and say it, or I don't know. I mean, losing your flagship game like that, man, really, really hurt. It just really hurt. I need them to give people a reason to buy this console.
It wouldn't have mattered as much if there was another launch game. And the problem with
no, probably not.
Some of these games could have. What would you say, Jace?
No, I'm saying no, probably not. Like, I'm agreeing with you.
Okay. Halo hasn't launched with a console since the original. It hasn't happened. It's been fine. Like, the Xbox 360 was one of the best consoles ever, but it didn't launch with a Halo. It was always afterwards. We're gonna get a Halo quicker than most consoles, the 360 did and the Xbox One did.
What was the launch title?
I'm actually
for Xbox One.
The Xbox One launch titles? It was
what that was.
Sunset
Overdrive.
Was Gears part of it?
One of them.
What was the first game we had, Matt?
Oh, Battlefield 4.
It wasn't even, and it's not even an exclusive.
Exactly, and that's what
you had to have a game.
I want to chime in on what Matt said because I agree. The 360 was, it was incredible. I feel like back then, you can make that argument, but I feel like now people have kind of wrote because we've seen it. Like y'all said, y'all even agree PlayStation is probably going to have the edge. More people are getting Sony, right? So I think the only reason now they're getting Xbox is for Halo. So I think that's why it's kind of being brought up. I mean, I feel like that's a majority reason.
There's a lot of people that would do that.
There is people that will just
that's
get it
why,
no matter what.
That's why I think their last conference was all about Game Pass. Now you got another reason to get Xbox.
Yes.
But we all know, I mean, this is an L for Microsoft. We know this. Every one of us here know it. It doesn't matter why it happened or justifying it, putting the blame on anybody. This is an L, and they're going to have to take it. And
here's what I'll say. It is sad that 343 is going to take a lot of heat for this, but they're doing exactly what they need to be doing.
I agree.
They pushed this game to make it as good as possible, and also with everything that's going on in the video game industry as far as the crunch time crisis, where all these, if you don't know about the crunch time crisis, where it gets to these companies will say, we need your game out by this time. And that means these people that work on this game will work 20 hours a day for 7 days a week without any breaks just to get this thing done. And
it's also almost a two-way street.
It's a definite inhumane working society just to try to push these games out. Rather than do that and try to push this thing out in November, by God, put it out whenever in 2021.
Yeah,
I think we can all agree we're going to get a better game now.
Yeah,
I think that's
100%. Didn't we all say that what we liked about Microsoft in their original press conference? I guess their second one technically, that they were straight up with us, right? Some of y'all said that.
Yeah.
I think.
I don't think that's changed.
So is it 343 then that's not being straight up with us? Because the original thing was, so after they showed Halo, me and Josh mainly, and then Jimmy chipped in. We didn't like the visuals and all that, and then they came out and said, "Oh, this is an early build, and it's on PC, by the way." After people dogged it, and then they said it'll be ready. They still said it'd be ready. All that. Then it got to this, and now they're saying, "Oh, well, it's the pandemic. We can't. Sorry."
So here's
they said part of it.
You get what I'm trying to say? I'm not just trying to jab, but
no. You're totally you're on the right track though. Like it's, I mean, if the blame had to be somewhere, let's be real. If you think Microsoft sat back and said, I guarantee you 343 said, we got it, Microsoft, everything's under control. And dude, if you're building the game for a freaking multi-million-dollar company, and you know what? You love to hear everything's going smooth. And that's great. And if they have, and I know how Microsoft is, they have great confidence in all their partners. They do. That's the great thing about Microsoft. They really do have a lot of confidence in all the developers that they have on staff. But maybe 343 botched this. I'm not going to say Microsoft did it. If the blame went to anyone,
it's more 343 than anybody.
I agree.
Yes, exactly.
If you had to point the finger, let's just say that. And no one's pointing. I mean, I'm not really pointing the finger because I feel like 343, they had a setback, but a smart decision to actually admit we need to push this game. That is a very smart decision.
Bad for Microsoft, but good decision.
It's making them look bad, but I think it's 343. I get there is a pandemic. I'm just saying, they specifically have not been straight up.
I just all there is man.
Jace, you said that we've applauded Microsoft being straight up with their decisions and their intentions. I promise you, when 343 said, "Hey, it's going to be fixed by this time," that was their intention to do that. Until this backlash came back, where it was like, now we have to change a lot of things. That's what.
I don't know, man. I mean, they might. Like I said, there's always a big if. It's always a big if.
True, man. That's 343 not coming out and being honest with you.
This is all. I mean, if we're being honest, this is all us being just making. It's all a big if.
There's
theories.
343. First of all, is under Microsoft umbrella, and then second of all, 343 has not been dishonest with me or you. They literally intended to put the game out whenever they said. It's the backlash from the specific event where everyone's like, "This looks trash." We're like, "Oh,
so it's still not their fault. It's our fault for saying this looks bad."
No,
I'm not understanding what you're saying. How is it no one's fault?
Listen. All right, here we go. We're getting into it. Okay, so this game was going to release at this specific time. Me and Josh,
which they told us that, and they said it'd be ready. Go ahead.
Okay, but so did Naughty Dog and Last of Us 2.
Well, this is a launch title.
So
that doesn't change things. Still just a game.
That doesn't change anything at all.
Just a game.
Anyways, delays are delays. This has a pandemic, and I give them a little bit more leeway for that. But I don't give any crap for any delays ever. I'd rather have a 10 when it comes out than a 7 when it launches early.
Yeah, so like we're not. The only thing that this does is hurt Microsoft's launch. It doesn't hurt like the Halo. You know what I'm saying? It's not really hurting. Like Halo, like did Last of Us get hurt? How bad did Last of Us 2 get hurt from delaying?
No, this will better Halo in the long run.
It bettered Last of Us for waiting the delay.
And here's the thing: when we're talking about how long it took to make the game and all this different stuff, they also said this game was going to be the start of like the next 20 years of Halo. That's a lot to put on this specific launch.
Dude, but
you know what I'm saying?
That's a lot for me to take in, considering I've seen companies say things like this, and there's been very few really produce that.
That's true.
Truly do that.
But with Xbox's Switch here, where Forza Motorsport, whatever it was going to be, is Forza Motorsport, and Fable is not 4, it's Fable, and all these different. There are branding these for Game Pass to say once you have this game, the next you're going to have it for years because we're just going to keep iterating on it.
It's like the Destiny 2 Fortnite model. Everybody's
exactly.
Doing the same thing.
Halo Infinite will be Halo Infinite for 10 years.
Yeah.
And people will still play it.
So I feel that. I really do. And I hope you're right. And I hope you're freaking right. But Halo 5, if there was a different company over this, if we weren't talking about 343 and Bungie said, you know what? Hang on. I don't think my game's ready. I would be like, you know what? Bungie knows what they're freaking doing. They've done it too dang long, and I am A-okay with every decision they make. But let's be honest. Halo 5 is at the bottom of my list of favorite Halos. And it's not the multiplayer.
Multiplayer was phenomenal.
Multiplayer was great. It wasn't my favorite, but it was great. But everyone in this group that's played the campaign, and probably everyone in the country that's played it, knows that was botched.
Yep.
Well, and Jimmy, you're making a point for me here. Is like, you can't release a semi-good Halo after what they did with Halo 5.
You're not wrong. But whenever you tell me that this is going to be a Destiny-like situation where this thing is going to play out over time and it's going to be even better, like it's going to get better, is what you're kind of saying, right? Like, in a sense, what they're telling
me, instead of the next Halo,
they're going to
like
build
Halo Infinite 2, it's just going to be in the game.
I feel that, and I like it. I love the idea, but I just don't like who it's in the hands of. You know?
Okay, so Jimmy, you're basically what you're saying, Jimmy, is take it with a grain of salt.
I am, but at the same time,
I feel that.
Like I was saying, if Bungie was over this thing, I would be like, man, you know what? They've done this. They keep proving their points. I mean, why question a guy like that? And if Halo 5 would have been perfect, I would have said, you know what? They're really good. They know what they're doing, and they're going to do the same thing to this game. But I had my problems, and I feel like I need this. When this game launches, I don't need to have those problems. Like, even with now that we got a delay, I feel like
no excuses now.
Can't have this problem. This has got to be perfect. This has got to
be a good game.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got a lot of pressure now.
You know, I mean, we're sitting here.
There was a lot of pressure.
There was, and we're having this conversation right now. But at the end of the day, when this game launches and we play it, and we all just sit back down and we look back on it and we go, you know what? We were pretty rough on them, but dang it, they nailed it. That's all I ask for.
I agree. I want to get the best Halo game they can give me. But let's just to go off of Jimmy's point, man. I play every Halo that comes out. I was raised on Halo, but everything 343's done for me has not been my favorite. It's not been bad, but my faith in them is not as high as what it would be in somebody such as Bungie, and I think that's justified.
But like that was going to be the case no matter what. Coming off of what Bungie did with Halo, whoever was going to take the reins up was not going to be good enough for everybody. That was just going to be it. You can't.
I think Bungie got out at the right time.
Exactly, 100%.
Okay.
So, 343, like Halo 4 was, in my opinion, not a bad game by any means.
Not terrible, not great.
I was a big fan of it. Yeah, I liked it.
I like the multiplayer more than most. The campaign was campaign was
pretty good.
It was okay. It just was I didn't know where it was going. Halo 5's campaign was trash. Everybody knows that.
Yeah.
Halo 5's multiplayer is what makes me have faith in 343.
Yeah,
Halo,
Which is the reason I want the game anyway.
Exactly. Halo 5's multiplayer may be the best multiplayer in the series. There's an argument for it.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I agree with that.
There's an argument.
It's definitely up there for me.
And from what I've seen, you know, what we did get shown, I think they're going the right direction on the multiplayer. I mean, I haven't seen multiplayer, but if you take some of the aspects like slide shot, a little bit, you know, here and that, you know, you can kind of see more like the grapple, all those things you like integrate into the game look incredible, and I think that's gonna, you know, make the multiplayer just that much bigger. And you know, as long as it hits esports, man, this game is gonna be fine. It takes care of itself. The competitiveness in this game takes care of itself.
Yeah,
you know? I mean, it really does.
I mean, we're like I said, like Colin said earlier, everyone's still getting it. Like we're still getting. I'm just my only point was from a business standpoint, I do feel like it's gonna hurt their launch.
100%.
Yeah, I mean, we can all agree, but
so
it's still gonna be good. I do have high hopes.
Everybody watching our podcast who came here to hear about Halo.
Yep.
It sucks right now. It sucks. But hold your head high, because we're gonna get a better game because of this.
Hopefully.
We hope. All right. So now, so check us out. We're done.
I would have played
Halo's
the demo and played the hell out of it.
Look, Halo's done. So listen, we're gonna cover a few more things before we get off here because we ain't got much time. So check it out, guys.
Sir.
Just a few things that we need to touch on that we've been meaning to touch on for a little bit, and it's gonna be super quick. Just streaming world news, real quick. Shroud came back yesterday. He's back on Twitch. That's
nuts.
It hits me weird considering I won't see him and the two-time, you know, together. But with that being said, the two-time is back and he is better than ever. I mean,
hopefully they'll release some of this ban and let him get to play with the Twitch people, because Twitch has now become, once again, and probably never was like without the title of best streaming service out there.
Yeah,
if you want to watch, it's my.
But with a guy like Doc doing especially what he did, by the way, the number was 511 and some change watching on YouTube. Unfreaking heard of.
We'll see what that means for the long run. Now, everybody wanted to see what he was doing, and so like obviously the first one's going to be the most. But he did stream again. It was up in
nobody knows what's going on, man. He still don't even know.
Yeah, you're right. But my thing moving forward with this, especially with Twitch and YouTube and all those things, is, are we going to see the switch, and does this make Twitch even more the villain than kind of, you know, is already projected? I mean, we already know the Twitch streamers that are like big up there, they have their problems, and they've made it pretty dang vocal.
If Ninja chooses Twitch, which is still up in the air, then the Twitch is good, man. Twitch will be good for a long time.
And,
that's true.
But seeing what Doc did, and seeing the numbers, even on his second stream, man, he hit like 160K, dude. That's
Ninja, when he streamed YouTube, was ridiculous as well.
Yeah.
But 511? Bro.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, I know. I get it. We get it.
So,
good for him, man.
Yeah.
He's going to be the best streamer on YouTube.
For sure. And one more little controversy thing about him. They're not adding him to the ballot for Streamer of the Year candidate. Who do y'all think has that in the bag? Go ahead, Matt. What do you think from what you've seen? I know you don't keep up with streaming as much as probably us, but what do you think?
Yeah, I know who I got.
Did they release who's on the ballot?
Yes. So you got your big. So your big names: Nick.
Yes, sir.
Nick Merckx, Dr. Lupo is on there. You got Tifu is on there. I know how you feel about it, Matt. Don't worry. Wasn't even gonna say it. But and then
did Tim make it on there?
Tim was on there. So it was the big names, in my opinion, was Tim, Nick, Dr. Lupo, and then I think Courage may even made it. So
I like Courage too.
So out of those four, what do you think? I mean, out of those five, because I'm gonna keep Tifu on there because he deservingly has the views. So
I'm pulling for Tim.
I like Tim the most.
I think if it's the best interest of Twitch, if Tim would win this, because him and Lupo, I'd throw them in there. They make no noise in the dramatic areas. Tim is so good at playing with all sorts of people and having no beef with anybody.
I agree.
And
I think
that specific idea is the best thing you want at the top of Twitch.
I think that Nick deserves it. I've seen him grow more this year with Call of Duty. I mean, he is blown up with the Warzone, man.
Absolutely.
But I liked him more. But I think Nick deserves it. Go ahead, Jace.
Is this only Twitch streamers that we're talking about? Is that only people?
It's not projected to that, but that's all that is projected for the top.
Yeah.
Oh, for the top, like no YouTube ones.
No, I don't think there's a single as far as like top 10.
Dang.
No
okay.
Yeah.
Well, I was gonna say my boy Noah J. I think he's up there. He just he streams on YouTube. He just streamed the COD reveal the other day because he got a box from them because he plays a lot of COD. He's always for the last like decade, and he had like million views on that one day, like 50 million plus.
Hey, but there's also some people that have grown tremendously this year. Symphony. Oh, nobody knew his name until this year.
Cypher has grown as well.
Cypher, Ghost Aiden.
Man.
Ghost Aiden.
Actually, to be honest with you, I think Cypher PK is in the top 8.
But the question, and we do this with the sports as well. It's not most improved. You know what I mean? It's the top streamer.
Yeah.
I would definitely. I'm saying Nick.
There's two guys. So there's two guys, and I got one reason for both of them because they're both incredible. Nick is number 1 in my opinion because I've watched him over the last. If you go to any of his YouTube videos from 3 months ago and then look at the views of his latest, it's ridiculous. Like he's expanded. Same with Tim. Tim is doing the same thing, man. They're putting up big numbers. So those guys, in my opinion, I think it's going to be a pretty tight race. They're pretty close boys. I like watching them play together. I think it's really fun. I think it's good for the community, really, especially in a time like this.
Jimmy, I got one other news story I thought I'd throw in there before we're done. The Xbox Series S is pretty much confirmed. We all knew it was going to happen, but there was like a white controller that was released on something, and it had Series X and Series S. So that's that long rumored Lockhart version of the Xbox. Does that change how well their console launch is, since they'll have one that's at a complete cheaper? A lot of grandmas will be like, "I'm going to get you the cheapest one." I think you'll have that. They probably will sell more Series S than they will Series X.
I agree with that.
Hey, and real fast, Jace, why don't you give us a real quick rundown, like opinion-wise, of Marvel since you played the beta?
Ooh. So I'm actually really excited for Matt. I think his comes out this weekend, or no, he's not pre-ordered, but it really exceeded my expectations. It's actually really good. The graphics aren't. I mean, it is a beta. Graphics, not like I said, that don't really matter for a game. The gameplay is good, man. I was really surprised. It took me it's gonna be fun to play with people for sure. It's gonna be really fun.
Yeah, I think I watched Cypher play that a little bit on.
I've seen quite a bit of it. I've seen and you got to give it some like slack for beta issues because there was a lot of problems with Hulk and dropping frames, and I've seen there was fun of stuff like that. But it looks okay. I can see it being very repetitive. And like they're what do they call them? Hurt rooms, Jace? Hurt. Anyways, they're literally like rooms without textures at all, like just blacked out rooms, and they just throw enemies at you. And we've all played Destiny too much to know that we're gonna do this way more than we want to do that, just to level up.
DST style, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, pretty much, but the way less going on.
I mean, it's definitely gonna be one of those, like once you beat the story, I mean, what's
gonna be just grindy.
Yeah, it's gonna be grind because there's gonna be raids you can do, but I doubt a lot of people after they beat the story is gonna stay for that. I mean, I'm sure for the once Spidey hits, more people come back to it. But other than that, it'll just be like once you beat the campaign, you'll be done.
Some people come back to it because it's not available.
Well, all right. We heard about Marvel. We heard about the streamer content. We talked a whole bunch about Halo. Really, we're all sad. Every one of us, no matter what we argue about, we're sad. It's bad that happened. It sucks.
It sucks.
We are, but we're also happy.
We're also happy. And the rest of the Halo people, man, it's going to be a good game. We're excited for it.
Yep. And with that being said, guys, give us a like, follow us, all those things. Go check these dudes out. And guess what? I got the Facebook pages up, and you guys can go check out a reason to go follow these freaking dudes because they're busting their butts. And I got highlights on there. They're doing really good. Just go check it out. What's it gonna hurt?
Hit that bell.
You will also catch for sure me, Josh, Jace, on some tech talk. We got some crazy leaks, some crazy stuff coming up, hopefully in the near future. And that's it. Y'all got anything?
I will see you guys later.
That's it for me.
All right.
See ya.
See y'all on the next one. Peace.
Peace out.